So as we move down through, I'm expecting to see more and more of these screens or these shades. As we can see here, we're going to see a lot of umbrellas. Okay, I'm definitely expecting that. So a lot more umbrellas than screens, but again, there is a lot more umbrellas out in the marketplace rather than screens. So we just skip by just like we did. Okay, anything of interest that is slightly different, we can obviously segue off that and start looking into that marketplace itself. Okay, so still a lot of screens and a hell of a lot of umbrellas here. So we move on down, move through. We're just getting towards the end of this 31, and it might just be swamped with these styles of products, unfortunately, but that's okay because we can also move on. So nothing really of interest there. We'll always go down and see, is there an area we can move off? And I always move into this area too. I normally will right click on this and open it up in another area. I'm just going to click on it for now. And people turn around and they'll say, well, why are you looking at patio umbrellas? Because we know that that's not a good market. My screen was not a patio umbrella. So what was it doing inside this category? And that's simply because there is only a certain level of different categories. So people have got to categorize their products somehow. So inside here, we're very likely to see products which are not umbrellas. Okay. So a simple scan is a 2-minute job. Scan down through. Okay. So these are all umbrellas. Okay. So this is not an umbrella. Okay. It's not for us at that price, but it's not an umbrella. Okay. Keep going down. We're likely to see, so there's my shade. He's not an umbrella. He's something slightly different. There was another one. I just scan down. I wouldn't say that this is like a rich feeding ground, but it's also a 2-minute job to go down through and see what's in here, okay? And you never know, you might just find something that you can kind of move off into another area. If we hadn't have found the screen before, we likely would have found it if we'd moved in here too. I like using that as an area as well. So keep moving down the whole way so that you can start to find different things. This was also one that I moved off into, Ali, from the very original. Going with a generic key term, what are you thinking here? Just so you know what this type of product is, it's this style of item. I thought it was an odd one. I thought it was a good one. That's why I threw it up.
Yeah, it's interesting. Never seen that before. I think garden might have to be a keyword here. Garden wine bottle holder.
That's very good. That's exactly what I was going with. And again, one of the things that people sometimes put into their generic key terms would be metal, right? They put in the material that a product's made out of, and that's not necessarily always the case, because why would somebody who's looking for this type of product put in metal? It's not logical that they put in the material. Sometimes it is logical that they put it in if they're looking for a specific type of product. And many, many times it's not logical that they would put that in. So we've got a garden wine bottle holder. So a relatively long generic key term, okay? Over 1,000 results, so pretty good in terms of the search results. There's something ever so slightly different there, Ali, as well, in that we've got this glass bottle tree. That is potentially something that people know what they're looking for and may potentially type in. It's an ever so slightly different product, I'll agree, but it may be where we take our research to here.
Oh yeah, I would definitely want to look into those search tabs.
Yeah, now the one I found was 20,000. Okay, so I'm going to say that these two products are different, right? The one that I found versus the tree. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
It's similar, but it's different. Apart from the one that I found, there's not very many in the market here. It's pretty much all on its own. I'm going to change that generic key term to a glass bottle tree. Glass bottle tree. Okay. Over 7,000 in the marketplace. And I think that is a better generic key term than what we had. And now I'm saying, okay, so I've got over 7,000. This has got to do something really exquisite here on this page to make us interested. Now we've got this product, so 77,000. We saw that earlier. Then we have this product here at 20,000. A lot of these other items, so we do have these three. I'm expecting to see them on down the page. They are sponsored, but not seemingly. I'm not really finding great BSRs. I then have a number of products that are not the same because these are actual bottles. Then I have this sort of odd looking one, which is not really the same thing. Potentially there, but what's your opinion on this market? I think this is a very interesting one.
Can we just scroll up to the top just for the first
Yep.
first couple of products? It's looking like the market's on the smaller side, the only one kind of offering in range.
It's definitely on the smaller side. That's for sure. Competition wise, it's actually very low. Noise, there isn't any. In terms of like clones, there isn't any. The clarity of an offer, I think, is definitely there, right? Because if I'm going into this market, I'm going in at a $29.99 offering. Like that's absolutely clear. And I'm going for a product like this because that's the only one that I can see has some form of demand, right? Without making any assumptions. What I've got to ascertain is the size of the market is probably on the smaller side, as in just too small. I've got to definitely compete with this guy, and I might have to beat him. I would judge this market as amber to green. What would you say, Ali? What's your overall thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think amber to green is definitely the way I'm thinking. I would want to do a little bit of digging in terms of looking at the listing itself and looking at the BSR history potentially.
I actually can't rule this out, Melissa. Where do you sit on it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's definitely the better term than the wine bottle holder for garden. It's a really small market. I would have to study it a little bit, but I think you could easily come in here. If you could come in here at a $29.99 price point, I think you could pick up quite a bit of activity. So,
and that's an interesting point. If this is $9.99, I'm not interested. Because it's $29.99, I have a slight interest because at $29.99, I can make $8 to $9 in this product. If I can sell 3 of these a day at this range or even slightly below the market leader, this turns into a $10,000 product for me. So all of a sudden, he kind of moves a little bit less amber and a little bit more to green. But it's just enough because the price is starting to play its part. And I'm now thinking, can I compete? Can I stand out? And can I sell? And I have to answer yes, yes, yes.
I was moving a little farther down the road, which is what you do when you get faster at it, right? You already start to think about the next step. I'm a little concerned about the size of the product and the price point, whether or not that's going to eventually qualify. But from a market perspective, yeah, it's very interesting. I think I'd have to move it forward.
First thing we do, whenever we find something that we're interested in, we click into it, right? We make sure, okay, now there's a couple of little steps that we would have to do. Make sure it's not patented, make sure it's not that. As we know, as Melissa's sort of alluding to there, we may have issues down the line with size and these different things. But we can't do that until we would go and speak with a supplier and do different things like that. After we do that, we definitely make a note of this product. But we go in and we start to see what else could there be that's potentially related to this item, and using this area again to see right now. Immediately, we're not going to see a lot of these bottled trees because they don't exist. We've already proved that they don't exist. So I'm expecting to see a number of different styles of products that I could move off into. So there's like drink holder stakes, like a flagpole bracket. So you can see immediately as soon as we go down, right? Now let's take ourselves back. Let's take ourselves back to the umbrella stand, right? We were seeing a lot of these umbrella stands over and over and over again. Whereas now we're seeing something slightly different. We may see some connection. So there is like a solar light holder. Okay, so that's similar, but slightly different. We're also seeing, was that some sort of a wind chime style thing? Okay, so there's a lot of things that are connected, but they are, again, slightly different. Okay, so this is where I would move into to find more and more of these odd products because we are already in an odd area. Therefore, I'm not expecting to see this being something that's immediately, like a level 1 or a flower style product. I am expecting to see more and more weirder. And the further we go down, the weirder that I'm almost expecting it to be. Would you agree, Ali?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's almost like kind of lifting up that rock.
Which we talk about many times. And again, so using this area, using anything else that's at our disposal in terms of, down into, is there a category for this? It's outdoor decor, so we're way outside here. But if there had been something that we could have worked with there, that is exactly where I would go. So there's always ways that you can find things inside a product that you've already found. We see it over and over and over again. Okay, so make sure that whenever you find something, that you just don't kind of back away and try to go, having to reform another path. This could be a good area to look into in order to create another path. And even inside here, there are different areas that you could look into.
To your point there, I would actually say that's where it gets really fun. Is you almost have more interesting research off of your no's than you do off of your yeses that are, the way not competitive at all markets, right? Where there's not as much demand. That's where the fun stuff is.
Yeah, it's almost like follow your nose on your nose. That's the way that can come across. But it's like once you go inside here, it opens up this kind of an eclectic mix of different items that sometimes don't connect because the product is so weird. It's almost like whenever you see this, you've found something that's weird. We're not saying that is, the only thing that you do go and find a market, but you do know that you're in somewhere that doesn't have a lot of competition, and it's definitely you're into the more weird kind of area. Now, this was another sort of thing that threw something up for me, which I wanted to open up to everybody else in here. Was I was looking originally at the umbrella stand, and I came across this inside my Segway search, which was these like a storage unit or a storage bag for cushions, covers, that sort of thing. While I could take this on further and sort of dig into the marketplace, I just want to take another little area here so I can show you something else. Looking down here, what you're going to see is these are all storage bags, okay? But they're storage bags or storage covers for certain things, okay? So what we've got like moving bags, okay? We've got mattress bags. We've got like a duvet bag. We've got a cover for patios, okay? Let's move on down. So we got more duvet bags are under the bed storage. We've got more patio covers, more sort of moving bags. And this gets replicated over and over and over again. We got a Christmas tree bag, okay? And you'll just start to see that these get replicated over and over and over again. Until such times as I found, as I was looking down here, it was like this. But what it was for was a hot tub, right? Or a jacuzzi. And it was a cover for the hot tub. Now, whenever I then went into the cover for a hot tub, there was quite a bit of a market in there. But then what I moved on from, I moved into this area of hot tub steps, okay? So I moved one stage and another stage and another stage, okay? And I then get into these hot tub steps. Now, this is not hot tub steps. This is a hot tub with steps, okay? So at the $6,000 mark, I talk about, the price shouldn't be an issue, but I'm going to say that you might want to leave that product well alone. But then we kind of moved down into this area. Okay, now I'm going to say immediately here, Ali, that this is not the type of product that we're looking for. This is like a handy stool, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, this is going to be like more of a multi-purpose tool, I guess.
Yeah, whereas the next one is definitely a set of steps for a hot tub or a spa. They're definitely saying that. A relative price point there, $60, but BSR selling well.
Lovely price point.
Next one down, $16,000 in the category, $129. So price point even nicer, right? Not selling quite as well, but still very much in the ballpark, as you would say, Ali.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And a slightly different product. Okay, So it's not just steps, but it's actually got storage. So let me scroll on down. So now we've got another one. So this kind of goes in against this more, this red or teak sort of version. But I can see why it's not selling as well, because it's 20% more expensive. It actually doesn't look as as good or sturdy. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, it looks like a budget version at a higher price.
Yep, so we can determine that. Let's just move on down. So we got another product, still the more budget version, but actually now at a slightly more budget price. And selling. Now, not selling quite as well as this. So these guys are on to something here with a chunkier version. Maybe something to do with the size or whatever as well. But this is still selling. Got this one, okay, slightly chunkier version, 20% higher price. It's selling, but not anywhere near the level of the other one. Then we got another kind of version, so still selling, but again, kind of a higher price point. This one just about sort of selling. It's in range. There's something inherently wrong with this, I feel, with the two reviews, and maybe there's something in a bad review there. This one kind of on the outskirts. And then we're into more tubs. One or two more on the outskirts. So what's your immediate sort of reaction to a market such as this?
Can we just scroll up to the number of search results? I like it.
I really like it. Whenever we look at kind of the market, we've definitely got a clear market leader. There's no ambiguity there. This guy here is the clear market leader. That's definitely the sort of product that I'd be looking to go in at. And I've also got a real indicator that I could compete on price on this product. $61.99 is quite an odd price point. You know, it's got $59.99 written all over this if we were to move into the product. And we know exactly what we're looking for. Real clarity here, Ali, on the type of product. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. The consumer already knows what they're looking for. We're not getting so many different styles. Pricing is kind of consistent, I'd say, as well.
Yeah, and there's one other thing that I would definitely consider in this marketplace is doing both this product and this product, because this product here, Melissa, it's different, right? I'm definitely appealing to a different consumer, even though part of their functionality is exactly the same, that is getting into the hot tub. This other consumer wants something more. Wouldn't you sort of say that you've probably seen markets like this before?
Yeah, I mean, the market is small enough, you know, you want to be careful not to offer something that wouldn't appear on the first page, you know, with a feature that maybe the customer didn't even know they were looking for. This storage feels like a feature that they wouldn't search for it, right? Because they wouldn't even know it was really an option. But the market is small enough that you can get this onto the first page easily. And then, yeah, you have a higher priced product that has an additional feature that clearly has demand. So, and there's no others competing with it. So it's wide open for you.
Yep. So you've actually uncovered one market, which is then giving you two markets. There is a consumer out there who comes in, they're looking for steps for their hot tub. At this point in time, as Melissa kind of says, they didn't maybe know that the storage option or like the premium version of this existed. And for sure, there is a batch of people, clearly more people don't need that or don't want to go to that expense. They just want the steps. But there is a big enough section that are saying, wow, that's a great feature. That's something that I can use. I can store things for my hot tub inside this area, and I'm prepared to pay another $60 to get that feature. This is what I can, and it's not an assumption. It's right there in front of me that this is actually happening. Whenever I look at these listings as well, I'm definitely thinking I could do a much better job, and all of that scenario, I can definitely come up with much better titles, Ali, as we've been coming up with.
If you had a $59.99 product at the lower end and a $99.99 product with the storage, with better listings and some bonuses, I think you could rule this page. Absolutely. And even maybe at a 119, you might be able to get in there too. You're still taking $10 off. And if you could add, more into that, I think that'd be a great area to move into. And you're probably got a bit of wriggle room, Melissa, in terms of being able to add in, because you've got a product here that's over $100.